Hey everyone, what's going on? This is the Pocket Moggers. Hope y'all are doing well today. Today we're going to do a video about the Pikachu line. I guess depending on how you look at it, Pikachu was originally the first form, and then they added Pichu later on in Gen 2. Like I mentioned on the channel rules video, we are going to be doing evolutionary lines based on when they first appear in the decks, not based on what number the first member of their line is in the Pokedex. So Pikachu appears before Pichu, so Pichu is going to be grouped in with Pikachu and Raichu for this video, and will be our first non-Gen 1 Pokemon that we're going to do. So let's get started. As I mentioned earlier, this is our first non-Generation 1 Pokemon, and Pichu is a wonderful introduction to the concept of baby Pokemon and how baby Pokemon work. For those who don't know, baby Pokemon are a special kind of monster. You normally can't find them in the wild. They normally have to be bred at the daycare, which is a place you can go to make your Pokemon stronger, or you can breed Pokemon and make babies. And Pichu here is a baby Pokemon. They cannot breed themselves because they are children. They are much weaker than their evolved counterparts and normally do not have a comprehensive move list like their evolved counterparts do because they're babies. They don't know how to fight the way that grown-up Pokemon do, right? Pichu here is famous for Super Smash Brothers, where it kind of hurt itself every time it uses its moves. Not every time, but mostly every time it uses its moves. And some people who played Smash Brothers first and came to Pokemon second think that Pichu does that with its moves in Pokemon, and that is not true, with the exception of Volt Tackle, which is a recoil move. But any Pokemon that would use Volt Tackle would have that happen to it, not just Pichu specifically. Just like I said with Charizard here, I don't really know what to say about Pikachu that you haven't already heard a million billion times. You know, he's a wonderful, or it rather, is a wonderful combination of cute and tough at the same time. It's got that fighter energy in it, despite it kind of punching above its weight most of the time. The lightning bolt tail is a wonderful, like a little visual indicator of its elemental affinity, along with the yellow. And the cheeks being how the electricity is discharged is just a fun way to make it happen, to show that electricity has a point that it has to come out of, like, for example, in power outlets and things like that. It's a cool idea. I like it. Um, you know, Pikachu is the mascot for the number one media franchise on Earth, so I assume most of you know about Pikachu, and if you don't, well, here you go. Here's your introduction, I guess. Pikachu has a little bit of history where initially it wasn't supposed to be the mascot of the franchise. Originally, Clefairy who we are going to be doing in a later video. We're going to be mogging Clefairy, was going to be the mascot. But the anime chose to run with Pikachu, and its popularity as Ash Ketchum's best buddy kind of moved it into the forefront and allowed it to take over as the mascot. Big guy right here is awesome. Um, this is a really, really, really good, I think, visual indicator of an evolution where it keeps all of the traits of its previous form, but just kind of kicks them up a notch a little bit, right? Instead of being a Pika like Pikachu was, if you haven't ever seen one, look them up. Pika, just like in Pikachu. Raichu here seems to be more like I don't know, more like one of those Australian mice that can leap on their big back flat feet, or maybe more like a rabbit than a mouse. There are a couple of things that it could be, but it's giving that energetic, more um, battle ready aesthetic when you compare it to Pikachu. Looks tougher, but again, just like with most Pokemon, not so tough that it would be unappealing to younger people. All right. Raichu here also is a great tutor for stone evolutions. For those who are unaware, most stone evolution Pokemon cannot learn any sort of level up moves. And so you have to either keep the Pokemon at a weaker form while you are trying to raise it, or you need to find the TMs, HMs, move tutors, what have you, in order to teach it those moves. So Raichu is a great teaching tool for, hey, be careful what you wish for. You might be stronger, but if you can't learn any good moves, I mean, what good does that really do you? Okay, I'm just gonna get out of the way. Pikachu is obviously gonna get a 10 out of 10 for impact. Its whole line is they're quintessential Pokemon. I mean, people who know nothing about Pokemon at all know who Pikachu is. Pikachu has been satired and poked fun at several times. I mean, many, many, many times, really, truth be told. There's not much you can say to detract from the mascot of the franchise. Um, Red, who is the original protagonist of the games, uses a Pikachu. Ash Ketchum, the original protagonist of the anime, uses a Pikachu. Red from Pokemon Adventures, one of the mangas about it, uses a Pikachu. So many trainers. Oh, Yellow as well. So many trainers use Pikachu in every medium Pokemon related at all. And in Super Smash Brothers, both Pichu and Pikachu are playable characters. I mean, several trainers have used the line as their ace in the games. It's just an easy 10 out of 10. It's very well represented. Some might say overrepresented, but I don't really think so. In Charizard's case, it's usually like, here's a new super special Charizard form that puts Charizard above everybody else and makes him so awesome. But normally Pikachu's forms are just, oh look, he's got a hat now. And that really doesn't bother me too much. So the stats, especially by later Pokemon standards, Raichu isn't really wowing anybody here. But in Gen 1, these are pretty decent stats. The speed is pretty good. The special is good enough. In Gen 1, Raichu would have had a special defense of 90 as well, which would have helped it live through some of those special hits a little more. Not that 80 is really that much of a difference, but you get the point that I'm saying here. Um, Raichu and Pikachu and Pichu, more so former two are saved by other things like their ability, well, really their hidden ability, Lightning Rod, which makes them immune to electric type attacks, but also raises their special attack when they're hit by one. It's a great ability, great for switch-ins. Static, their other ability, can paralyze Pokemon that make contact with them. It's pretty good too, but you gotta watch out for that backfiring, let's say against the Guts Pokemon, who would then get a huge attack boost, and it wouldn't matter that he's slower than you because he's gonna kill you in one move anyway. All right. There's an item called the Light Ball that boosts Pikachu's attack and special attack, only Pikachu's. And in earlier games, that was a wonderful item for Pikachu to use. You know, it really did help it out quite a bit, but it just really doesn't have the stats, even with those up, to compete anymore. Um, Now their move pool, on the other hand, man, it's fantastic. They get stuff like Fake Out, which is the fastest offensive priority move. It causes flinching, meaning your opponent doesn't get to attack that turn. Great move. Surf, to help this electric type Pokemon deal with ground type, which is their big weakness. Play Rough, a stab fairy type move, which is one of the best types in the game. Encore, locking your opponent into moves. Nasty Plot, to boost your special attack. Thunder Wave, to paralyze your opponent without doing damage. Thunderbolt and Thunder are just good electric type moves. Quick Attack as well for some priority, meaning you normally go first. There are other moves that are faster than Quick Attack, but not many. And then, of course, Volt Tackle, the double edge variant for the Pikachu family. 120 battle power. It's a physical move that causes recoil, but hey, it's a good move. But really, it's harder, or excuse me, it's hard to do better than Pikachu. But you can, you know. Uh, the kit is good, but the stats need a little help, and I think the move pool could be even better, truthfully. So I'm gonna give Pikachu a 9 out of 10 here. Folks, do y'all like Pokemon found in random one spot or maybe two spots in an entire game? If you don't, you're gonna have a really bad time with Pikachu here. Unless you're playing Yellow or Let's Go Pikachu, where you get one for free at the start of the game from Professor Oak, you better like the Viridian Forest or the Kanto Power Plant, because if you don't, you're not getting a Pikachu. Raichu can be found in the Cerulean Cave in the Generation 1 games, but they got rid of that in later versions, so you won't be finding any there either. So I hope you like Zapdos, or I hope you like Caterpie and Weedle, because no Pikachu for you if you don't. And for those of you with basic mathematics skills, a 10 out of 10 and a 9 out of 10 added together makes a 19 out of 20, which is, excellent. Um, the one point is really just for the distribution of its stats and its lackluster. Well, not really lackluster, just lacking move pool. As a mascot, I think Pikachu could use a little bit of a buff to help it out, or maybe something. Maybe a form that does do a little more heavy lifting for it than just putting a hat on it or something. I don't know. I think that it could be better. Having said that, it is not bad, and especially in a normal playthrough where you're just getting to the champion and calling it quits, this line's always going to do right by you. There's no reason not to use it. Um, there was a planned evolution for Raichu in Gen 1 named Gorochu, and Gorochu was going to have more like Oni traits, like that's a Japanese ogre, so like big pointy horns and fangs, and it was going to be red apparently, and that sounds pretty cool. I kind of wish we had gotten Gorochu so that we could see what that would do. Who knows where this line would be right now with that in play. With that, I'm done with this video. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you all coming on by. Leave a like and subscribe if you'd like. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you'd like to talk about Pikachu and the line and what you think about it, let me know. That means that I think Pikachu is our top contender. He might be tied with Venusaur. I got to go back and look, but he's definitely either in first or tied for first. So that's going to be tough to beat. We'll have to wait and see who else can rise to the challenge. With that being said, have a great week. Let your family know you love them, and I'm gonna see you all in the next one.